Yeah, it does.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist. Yo, I got that Ric Flair figure four. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated. Folks, get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will go. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. You came prepared, now get ready for the show. Introducing the Ballin' Bud 703 Boys Crew, Clubber D, Dirty Mojo, Shane Peach, and the Sports Professor. Welcome to Sunday Showdown. Yo, what up?
Oh, look, me.
What up, friends? What?
Oh, no, I was just saying. I was seeing how big the screen was on me.
Oh, you're good. What up, friends? Welcome back. Another episode of Sunday Showdown. Yes, special edition time. We are coming to you on a Wednesday evening because the college football playoffs start tomorrow. NFL wildcard weekend is this weekend, and we want to make sure you get all of our news, predictions, and picks. We are missing one on the team right now, as you see. Hopefully, he will be joining us soon. Canteen, if you're out there and want to jump into, you're always welcome. That being said, I am here with Clubber D, the Combat G, and Dirty Mojo. You can find Clubber D at Clubber D. You can find Dirty Mojo at Dirty Mojo on Instagram. Clubber D's YouTube and TikTok are also at that QR code up at the top. Very handy up there. You can go up there and get all of Ball and Buds' social media. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, most importantly, at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. And everybody watching now, please hit that like button. Whether watching now or on the replay, it helps us out in the algorithm to get out to new people who do not know about us. So thank you very much for tuning in. How are we doing today, brothers?
Doing well. Doing swell. I'm excited to see if they got that new Stranger Things episode coming out that everybody's been talking about. It's not happening, guys.
Yeah, I was psyched about that. I was like, man, they better come out with that, please. But
that ninth episode.
That's probably not gonna happen. If it does happen, I will watch and do a backflip.
Yeah, me too.
All right, yeah, Stranger Things. I'm gonna have to catch up on that myself. Huh?
You never watched it?
No, I haven't watched it. No, you know my rules. You know my rules on series. I have to let them play out and see how long they go. Because if it's gonna be 10 seasons, Omar ain't watching that shit. Anyway. No, I am going to watch it now. If it's only 5, I will watch it. That's
not many things go on for 10 seasons anymore. I mean, last good thing they went for 10 seasons is maybe Sopranos. I think that was 10. Other than that, I don't know any great show I like that went for 10 seasons.
No, Breaking Bad was only like 6 at the most. 5. Yeah, I was going to say 5. One of the best. And The Wire, and 5. All of them. Yeah.
All like 5. Nothing's over. Like I said, Sopranos was long. I want to say maybe 8 or 9. It could be 10, but I can't think of another one besides like Law. I don't watch Law and Order, that crap. I ain't watching that stuff, but not many go past 5 or 6. Not many. So
not anything that's gonna keep your attention. You know, I mean, like after a while, you just got to come to a conclusion.
Walking Dead and Game of Thrones. They messed up Game of Thrones. I'm so pissed with that ending.
And I think Walking Dead is my primary example. Once it got to like the 6th season, I was like, man, this is getting very repetitive. Yeah. I was like, I don't really want to watch it anymore.
Rick left, that's not watching the show.
It was terrible.
There you go. Well, welcome, everybody. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. Let's get started on this. First of all, we have our college football playoffs starting tomorrow night. We have Ole Miss versus Miami. And then Friday, we have Indiana versus Oregon. What should be 2 amazing matchups. First of all, let's start with the first game. Ole Miss is a 3.5 favorite over Miami. Indiana at 3.5 favorite over Oregon. But again, let's start with that first game, Ole Miss versus Miami. Dirty Mojo, you had Miami all this way so far. Let's start with you. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Miami with the two upsets. One against Texas A&M and Texas A&M, and then another against Ohio State, where they just masterfully destroyed that offense. That Ohio State's offense couldn't do anything. You got also you have Trinidad Chambliss with this whole thing going on with him trying to come back for another year, but a lot of players are deciding to actually stay with Ole Miss, which is a good thing for them. They went out there and beat up on a cupcake, and then had a very, very hard fought game against the Georgia Bulldogs last week. For me, I still believe in experience, and I believe that that Miami led team with Carson Beck as the quarterback, and that defense is so vaunted. It's ridiculous how well they get after the quarterback. That was a big thing that Georgia was having trouble with this season. Was a lot of young guys. They lost two of their top pass rushers last year, and Mikael Williams and Jalen Walker, where they didn't really have a lot of pass rush to get after Trinidad Chambliss. I think Miami's they're going to do that. I think Miami's defense is extremely powerful. It's one of those things we talked about the last week or two, is that as long as Carson Beck can control the game, have a subpar regular type game, 200 yards, a touchdown, really no interceptions, I think Miami will pull this one off, and the story with the Ole Miss will end. But I do like Miami.
What?
Big on Miami getting to the finals, man. It's kind of that one thing where a lot of people were saying that they shouldn't be in there, but they should be in there. Now they've gotten in there and they've beaten literally the last two teams that they've beaten were in the top 5, right? You know what I'm saying? So they've beaten top 5 teams. You got to be impressed with that, guys.
I agree.
Yep. Clubber D.
I agree. And, I'm going to piggyback what you said about Carson Beck. He's had these up and down games all year to where you're like, okay, why was he getting paid so much for Georgia? Why did he get the Lamborghini years and all that stuff last year? And then now you look at him in the playoffs, he's doing what they need him to do to win. He's the ultimate game manager / changer by not turning the ball over, doing things silly. Miami's defense is top notch. People rag on the ACC about how weak that division is and whatnot, but look, we have an ACC person there, a team there that knocked off, a top 5 SEC team and a top 5 Big Ten or whatever team. So it's tough because Miami's defense is so good, and Tony was contained a little bit last game. He's going to go off. Okay, he's due for a big game. It's tough because I love the story with Ole Miss, because Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin hightails it up out of there. They flick him off at the airport. He's taking isn't he taking Charlie Weiss Jr. or is he going to?
I think he might be. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the head coach staff is going to leave. So the Ole Miss fans are like, hey, we're finally getting over the hump. We're making some noise in the college playoff, and this is a game for us to beat big bad Miami, who has that lore of the Miami of the 90s and the 80s and early 2000s. So it's part of me, I hate Miami because I'm a Virginia Tech fan. But I'm gonna go with the Hurricanes on this one. I think Miami's gonna get it.
Yeah, and let me touch on something that you said, Deon. Man, you made a great point about Malachi Toney, man. He's been shut down a little bit, but guess what? He played arguably the number 1 defense in the country in Ohio State last week, right? Still had somewhat of a decent game. And then 3 weeks ago when they played Texas A&M had one of the better defenses in college football also. He's going up against the Ole Miss defense that's not very good. They're not that team that's going to completely shut anybody down. So he could be poised to have a crazy, stupid game tomorrow night, which that's a good point. And if he goes off, it's going to be hard for Ole Miss to keep up with them and that defense.
True freshman, right?
True freshman.
Yeah.
His numbers, I think at the end of the season, the kid from Ohio State,
Williams.
Yeah, he had 60-something catches for 1,000 yards, and Malachi Toney had 60-something catches for 980 yards. I mean, it was real close. Same thing, 16 touchdowns.
Williams fell off though this year,
19 touchdowns. It was crazy, man. Those two receivers are the best receivers in the country by far.
Yeah, and as we said, Ole Miss is a 3.5-point favorite. The over/under here is 52. You gentlemen are welcome to give your score if you have one off the top. I'll go 35-17. Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to win. I know that you all, and you especially, Lamar, have hyped the experience, which has led them very big so far. But I kind of side with what Clubber D says in the fact that I think this Ole Miss team, is motivated to show Lane Kiffin what he's missing out on to win that title. That Lane Kiffin said, "Oh, I need to go to LSU because I can't win a title at Ole Miss." How serendipitous would that be for Ole Miss to then go out and win the national championship where he said he couldn't win? So, that being said, I, as a Kiffin hater in my heart, am truly rooting for Ole Miss to win the whole thing just so I can see him be upset and be shit on by all the Ole Miss fans. So I'm going to take Ole Miss. It might not be as much of a blowout as I just said. I was just going off the point spread of 52. But I do think Ole Miss will beat them by at least 10.
I like it. I like it. I was going to actually go Ole Miss, but it's just I can't doubt Miami's defense anymore. Man. Their defense is tough, and Ole Miss Trinidad had 3 great magical throws within like a minute and a half against Georgia. Okay, how do we know that's going to happen again? You know what I mean? And same with look at Malachi Tony. He fumbled twice or once, but the ball bounced perfectly right back to him. So somebody's magic streak's gonna stop, and I'm just going with the team with the tougher defense, and that's with Miami. But I can 100% see Ole Miss winning this game, and I would like it if they did, because it's you got, besides Miami, who has that lore of winning all those national titles back in the day, we got 3 brand news in this the Final Four. So I'm loving it. Call me McDonald's. What? No? Okay.
Yeah, one thing that was overlooked by a lot of people that wasn't talked about, but we talked about it here on this show and on Sunday Showdown. Y'all tune in, shameless plug, every Sunday after the day games. We will be on after those playoff games this weekend, so make sure y'all check us out. But 1-7, Indiana was the only team that got a bye that actually got a victory in the past 2 years since this college football playoffs have started.
Oh, damn.
So that's something that when we talked about last week, looking at the reconstruction going forward of this tournament and how you can make it better by either expanding or contracting, right? That's one of those things you have to look at, especially if you're not going to give them the home field advantage that we've talked about.
I can see that. Like, kind of like make it like NFL and make it only one team have that bye, the number 1 team, and then everyone else has to play the added teams, I guess. But you have to I think you have to look at the bowl structure, because we all know what the orange, peach, all those bowls were always BCS bowls. So do we have enough bowls of that caliber to sub in for those early games? You know?
At the very least, going forward, if we do keep 12 teams next year, the second round teams, the ones that earn the buys, should get that home game. They really, really should. So, just to be fair.
I can see that.
Shout out to Odette Rose tuning in on Club D's channel. Hello to you as well. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Y'all make sure you hit that like button. Don't just peek, but also hit that like button for us. All right, cool. Let's move it on into the next one. We've got Oregon versus Indiana. Indiana, again, is a 3.5 point favorite over Oregon. The over under here is, let's see, where did I put it at? There it is. 48.5. 48.5 is the over under. I didn't realize that was doing that on the vertical stage, Clever D. I just saw that, so I'll take that off. But anyways,
I didn't notice.
yeah, you're good. Indiana, what do you got on this game?
Yeah, well, I like the way Indiana played last week against Alabama. They just completely dismantled them. But you can't take anything away from the way Oregon played against Texas A&M. And Texas Tech. Texas Tech had probably, like I said, again, one of the best defenses in the country, and they put BTA to those boys, man. This game right here is gonna be a slugfest, man. It is gonna be a slugfest. I'm looking, I think, more forward to this game. I do think Indiana's going to beat them. They beat them earlier, and they beat them earlier at Oregon. So it wasn't like they played on a neutral field. It wasn't like they beat them when they were at home. They actually went to Oregon, and they beat them in Eugene. So it's going to be a fantastic game. I really like what Indiana is doing. I think Indiana, I don't want to call them a Cinderella team, because they're not a Cinderella team, but they are a team that is deserving. And I want to see, even from last year, them having the firepower that they did, and they got knocked out last year. I like them a lot. I got them winning similar to what they did, but I think the score will be a little higher. So I'm going to go with this game. I'm going to say Indiana's going to win this game, but the game is going to be 38-28 instead of 30-20 like it was the first game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate to agree, be like, we're all agreeing, but I'm a big fan of Indiana. I love the coach. I love everything they're doing there. I'm a big, like my heart always goes to these teams that aren't usually there. Okay. Cause we need to change this shit up. It's tired of having all these big powerhouses. Even this era of NIL, you still wouldn't think Indiana has the money to compete with all these other big schools. And they do, they do have that old basketball money for all those boosters and stuff. So I'm a big fan of their story. Mendoza, like I said the last show, every time he runs and moves around in the pocket, I think it's Tom Brady because he moves as slow as molasses, but he gets where he needs to get to. And, it's always positive yards. You don't really see him getting sacked that much. He has very good pocket awareness. I forgot the name of the running back for Indiana. He's a beast too. So I like everything about Indiana. Oregon's always been a flashy team to me. They never really played that much. Their defense has never really been that great. They're always in a shootout with somebody or winning the last minute like they did against Penn State this year, I believe. So I'm going to go 100% with Indiana. Score-wise, I'll say 33-21. I'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards a little bit of what both of you all are saying here. The storylines in play, the not underdog, as you said, Lamar, but more just the way that this team has been portrayed as a basketball school, because they really are their whole entire time, right? But as was said, NIL money has changed everything and made it a level playing field for at least, the teams that can come up with money. And most of these, especially private universities, have a lot of donors, as Clever D just mentioned, that will fund these teams. So you are going to start to get these Indianas, these Virginias, these, even Cows, maybe one day we'll see. I know they suck now, but I'm just using private institutions with a lot of money.
Well, if I could say this, I'm saying a lot of people will call this NIL money, but it's really not. They made a comment last week that there were 34 4- and 5-stars on Alabama's team compared to Indiana only having 6. So they're still not playing with NIL really guys. They're not playing. They're playing with well-coached guys.
That may be true, but I also read an article where they showed the percentages of the teams that have the most NIL money. And as you would expect, it's the Georgias, it's the Alabamas, it's the Tennessees, it's the Texas. But Indiana wasn't at the bottom of that like a James Madison or a Tulane. They were in the middle of all the playoff teams. Yeah, they still have a lot of recruiting they need to do, but they're paying some players too.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that no players are being paid, but I'm not looking at more of like a Miami team that probably has a lot more guys that are in there on the NIL deal with higher 4- or 5-star guys. These guys, even if they are playing with NIL guys, these guys are 3-stars. These guys are 2-stars. They're Joes and Jims. You know what I'm saying? But they're playing very well because they are a well-coached team and they're a team that's been together for a while.
Well, there you go. Well-coached, and a lot of them came from JMU.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they were already coached from Jump Street, and now they're the limelight's going to Indiana from JMU, and get a little more bread in their pocket. So yeah, I got you. A well-coached team will always be a bunch of athletes. It's always going to work like that.
And as you mentioned, Dirty Mojo, we did see these two teams play back in Week 7. As you mentioned, Indiana did win that game, 30-20. You're saying it's going to be a little higher scoring. I think it's going to be around the same type of game. I do believe, obviously, Mendoza has a better appearance this time around. He had a 48.5 passing grade the first time. They blitzed him. Oregon did 41% of the plays, which is a tremendous amount of time. But usually, Fernando Mendoza is second best under pressure in the FBS per passing grade. Especially when teams blitz. So you don't normally see him.
I think they said Alabama last week blitzed them on, like you said, 47% of the time, right? And I think they said he was 8 for 10 for 170 something yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And 3 touchdowns. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, blitz him if you want to, but that's 80% completion with 170 plus yards and 3 tuds. I don't think Oregon's in a blitz.
That's somebody that can read a defense. That's what that is.
And I'm glad y'all both brought that up, because that's exactly where I was going with that. Just because that succeeded in the first game, Indiana still won. And Fernando Mendoza's better now than he was 8 weeks ago. So
that Raiders quarterback is looking good out there for Indiana.
Oh,
well, hey, they're saying this is the Raider Bowl right here. They're saying whatever quarterback plays better may get the keys to the kingdom. So we'll see about
although homie
that.
was saying, I thought
But
Phil Knight's gonna give the back the truck up for what's called stay at Oregon. Well, Phil Knight's be like, hey, any shoe you want, you stay in Oregon, buddy.
I mean, please, might as well. I mean, he still needs. I would still, if I were Dante Moore, I would personally go because you got to capitalize on the draft stock. But in terms of development, he could use another year in college for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyways, they ran all over Alabama last week, 237 yards, and even though Oregon does have one of the best running defenses in the country and defenses in general, as we talked about, I do think Indiana wins this game. I'm going to go a little closer of a game. Classic 27-24 Indiana over.
Oh, three-pointer.
Three-pointer win the game at the end or what?
Yeah, I like that. Little walk-off victory. Keep going there with their walk-off streak that they've been having.
Anti-Tyler Luke, whatever his name is.
Yeah. And when you have a bad day as a kicker, I can imagine that's got to be one of the loneliest places on earth if you miss a big kick in a big game and you have the whole team that probably is just going home and cursing your ass the whole night. Like what?
Like Isaiah Likely finally makes a catch, and it's like, all right, okay, yeah.
Oh well. All right, cool. Let's move it into that was our college football semifinals. So now let's move it into the finals. And so both of you picked Miami and Indiana to win. Since I picked Ole Miss, I will go last. Clubber D, let's start with you. You have Miami, Indiana in your finals. What's happening?
This is going to be the perfect matchup for Mendoza to solidify and prove that he's the number one quarterback and the number one pick in the next upcoming draft. Okay, because Miami's defense is top notch, and they basically shut down all the quarterbacks they face, especially in a college playoffs. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. So, with that being said, I think Mendoza will show his talents in that game, and I got Indiana winning. And we're gonna say we'll keep it respectable, 21-17.
Okay, all right, Dirty Mojo.
God, I love you, Dion, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. The story of the day will be Carson Beck, who was injured last year in the Texas game.
You're going the whole way?
Listen to me,
oh my God!
Injured last year with injured arm Texas. The turmoil, I guess. I think he left Georgia not on a bad status, but on a what's called status, right? Right. So he's coming back. What I'm saying? Listen. Hey, man. Hey, I mean, we can talk about it. Like they beat an Ohio State team, and what was that score between Ohio State and Indiana? Wasn't it like 13-10 or 13-9, something like that? Low scoring game.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami could come out and do this again too, and I believe it. You know what I'm saying? I've said it earlier in the show. I just, I look at the experience of it, and I don't want to take anything away from Indiana. I think Indiana is playing fantastic. I think their team is fantastic. That defense for Miami, though, we're going to go back to it over and over again. That defense for Miami is the truth. It's special. They're the real deal. It's one of those things too. Miami, Carson Beck, don't do nothing to fuck this up. Have yourself a game and look at it, man. You were at Georgia. Hurt your arm, you leave, you go to Miami, put out of Miami to win a national championship game. I'm going to use the same score as Dion, but I'm going Miami 21, Indiana 17.
All right, there you go.
But listen, too, remember, I also said there's a young man that plays for Miami. His name is Brennan Burton.
You're a fan.
Great, fantastic young man, God-fearing young man. I think he wears number 40. If you guys get the chance to, you see, you know what I'm saying, not so much of a role player guy. I think he gets a little bit more special teams guy, but still in all, man, the kid is a fantastic kid. I'm cheering for him. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going for my man. I actually messaged him before they played Georgia, and I told him that it was Georgia or Miami. Whoever wins that, I want to win it all the way. So he's like, thanks, coach. So he messages me all the time. Fantastic kid. Brennan Burton is his name. So I'm cheering for Miami. I want Miami to do it 21-17.
Shout out to Brandon Burton, man.
There you go.
Good luck to him and all the Hurricanes. And like you mentioned, they got Ruben Bain Jr., top 5 pick in the NFL draft coming up. Amari Washington there on the line as well. So there are no
beast.
Yeah, he is. There are no easy games against Miami's defense, is what I'll say. So moving on to my pick, I guess I have to continue with the story. I want to see Lane Kiffin suffer in his own created iniquities. So I'm going with Ole Miss to beat the Cinderella story of Indiana finally coming to the end in the championship game. Let's go ahead and go with a Ole Miss 35, Indiana 31 national championship.
I have a question. I have a question though. If Ole Miss were to win it all, do you think that kind of hurts Lane Kiffin or helps him, because people will be like, "Damn, he had kids on that team those are his recruits." And I mean, if they can play that well without him being there, then shit, he's recruiting good kids. Will the kids want to kids want to be recruited to LSU? Or is it like, damn, bro, it wasn't even really you. It was more so your players. But you know what I'm trying to get with this. Do you kind of
it's the chicken and the egg kind of conundrum, which came first, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you look at the fact that we all know Lane Kiffin. He's going to claim the title either way, right? He's going to say, "Oh, I'm the one that built that program. That was me. Right. I deserve that title." Now I'm going to. Sure, we know he's a jackass. He's going to do that. But that being said, that doesn't make it true. And I think what goes back to the point what we talked about earlier with the NIL versus recruiting of how much your percentages are there. I mean, Ole Miss has a lot of money tied up in NIL as well. So it's not just people he recruited; it's people he bought. And those same people can be bought at other colleges as well. You know what I mean?
Very true.
All right.
Story that Dion sent me earlier today, that shit was crazy.
What's up?
The story you sent me earlier today about the young man from Washington. Fuck.
Yeah. Okay, it's NIL is a cruel world, and now the schools are going to fight back, start suing these athletes to try to screw them over after they sign contracts.
Ooh, well, we'll see what happens there. That is our college football playoffs. We hope you enjoyed it. Take those picks to the bank. And now we move it on to the NFL. We have got the wild card weekend this weekend. It's going to be full of amazing games. But first, let's talk about the teams. Black Monday came and we saw 8 coaches fired, including both mine and Dirty Mojo's. Radio Raheem's job was not saved. How do you feel?
So I am ecstatic, and it was kind of funny because I kept getting joked up here on the show, and even in our message board, we were talking about, oh, he kept his job. I really did believe that Raheem Morris was going to retain his job as the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. I thought that Terry Fontenot was going to retain his job also as the GM for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm actually really glad that Raheem Morris is gone, because I didn't really think that he was a good offensive, a good head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Too much of a friendly coach. You kind of want that, you want to be friends with your coach, but I saw him like going out and having beers with the players. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that type of coach player. But with him gone, you get rid of Zach Robinson, which is thank God. Now Terry Fontenot, on the other hand, this is what I believe with him. I actually kind of feel sorry for Terry Fontenot. And the reason why is because when Atlanta picked up him and hired him 5 years ago, he was basically an intern for the New Orleans Saints under Mickey Loomis. I think he started up as an intern and he ended up probably starting getting paid. So this was his first GM job. And for his first GM job, he did get Kyle Pitts. Now, granted, they were all top 8 picks, so I mean, it's kind of hard to miss. But you get Kyle Pitts, you get Drake London, you get Bijan Robinson, and then you saw what he did this last year with the players that he took, right? I do believe that a lot of people are saying the writing on the wall was the Michael Penix and it was the
Kirk Cousins,
the Kirk Cousins thing. But I still believe that there was some other things going on in that, because if you guys remember, when all that happened, Arthur Smith had just gotten fired and they hired Raheem Morris. And I remember I remember at that whole specific time, they were talking about firing Terry Fontenot, but they kept him. I almost believe that Rich McKay, who was the president of operations in Atlanta, he was the one that I think talked Blake out of hiring Bill Belichick. I think he kind of had something in with the Kirk Cousins thing to hire him and to bring Kirk Cousins in and stuff like that. I don't really understand the dealings with it. I, for one, was a big fan of Michael Penix through college, and I actually liked the idea of it. I had been saying it the whole year that hell, let's get somebody that we can have on a 1-year deal, that we're 2-year deal, that we're really not worried about, like a Russell Wilson. I know everybody laughs at it, but I didn't think that the Falcons were good enough to do anything anyways. And I wanted to go back to that old school late '90s, early 2000s where a quarterback sat with the clipboard and just learned, because that's what I wanted to see happen.
Carson Palmer
Unfortunately.
type.
Right. Unfortunately, they paid Kirk Cousins so much money. And I think the biggest problem was the fact that last year Kirk Cousins got hurt and Raheem Morris kind of hid that. I don't know if he hid that or didn't know about it. So then they found out that, hey, the Falcons are losing because Kirk Cousins hurt. So Michael Penix came in there and kind of did what he needed to do. And everybody was like, oh, let's start him. And the same thing happened again with Michael Penix. He kind of gets hurt, and it's kind of like, what's going on here? Now all of a sudden his knee's out. He's out for the rest of the year. And then Kirk Cousins comes in and has an admirable final last couple weeks of the season. So I think that was what initially, got them at the end, got those two guys fired. I'm excited to see what the future brings for us. I am as I said it on the board, guys. Harbaugh. If Harbaugh comes into Atlanta, I think that would be fantastic for us. There's a lot of guys going out there. I mean, it's too much to talk about what guys is going to be here or not. But I did see something pop up on my feed saying that the Falcons are looking probably to retain Ulbrich, which I would really like because I think he did fantastic with that defense.
And that's what I was going to ask you about, and Clever D, was what we thought about the parting of ways. Essentially, it was more parting of ways than a firing of Jim Harbaugh, who had been there with the Ravens for 18 years and had won a championship. Clever D, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I called it. Like, whoever's going to lose that game is probably going to get up out of there. And Harbaugh, at least
You did say that.
18 years.
You did say that.
I felt it. I had some Old Bay and said on the Old Bay package that Harbaugh was. I was like, what? It says on it? But I would say this about Harbaugh: he's only missed the playoffs like 3 or 4 times, and he's had a great career in 18 years in Baltimore. It's just that sometimes it's over with. It's time to move on, and I feel it's probably mutual too. The real thing for Baltimore is going to be: are we going to start brand new, or are we going to get somebody that can mold Lamar to where we want Lamar to be? Because Todd Monken did a good job with him. So, it's really going to, what I'm really worried about, or not worried about, just interested to see is of how they treat the team moving forward. Are they going to keep the same players, or are they going to get somebody to adapt to that playing style and make Lamar even better? Or are they going to, just say, you know what, let's trade Lamar. Let's let, I don't know what Derrick Henry's contract's looking like, but let's trade him or whatever, get some assets, start over, and have a more traditional quarterback. So that's going to be really Baltimore's issue. Or do they want to get somebody for Lamar or get somebody to just start over brand new?
Well, Dion, that's a great point that you made, bringing up Todd Monken. And a lot of people are saying that John Harbaugh is very, very loyal to his coordinators. And he likes to, coach as a head coach, but he lets his defense coordinators do what they need to do, and their offensive coordinators do what they need to do. And if we could talk about, saying how they felt like Lamar was developing. But if you look at it, he won the first year Tom Monken was there, won his MVP, his second MVP, right? He won that in 2023. We can argue, and I think we can all agree, he should have won it last year. They gave it to Allen. I think Lamar Jackson had a way better season. Well, not a way better season, but he had a better season.
He had a better season.
Lamar Jackson could have, he was in the running. He could have won 2 back-to-back, right? And then this year, look what happened. He got hurt. That's not Todd Monken's fault. That's not John Harbaugh's fault. I think with this year, I said it earlier in the season, where the Ravens messed up is how do you have a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, who's a running style quarterback, but then you have a Matt Ryan style sit in the pocket guy? That messes up your offense. You cannot run the same style offense with Lamar Jackson compared to, I don't know who the hell the backer was, but he's not the same style of guy. Huntley, right? That's what I said. Remember, I said they should have brought in somebody like Shador Sanders, somebody that can run, somebody that can move, that kept that offense rolling the same way. I think they had a different outcome, man. I don't think that it was Tom Monken, John Harbaugh, or anybody like that. No?
He don't really run. That's right. I don't think they ever had a backup that runs like that. You know what I'm saying? They always had to, like, all their backups have always been, stationary, pocket guys, not really, runners. So,
what'd you knock over?
Oh, just a light bottle. It's right against the wall. Ain't breaking nothing. Just
okay, that was funny. All right, cool. Any other thoughts on the firings? Obviously, Pete Carroll's gone. Not much I can say there. Tom Brady wants to start fresh. We know. We talked last week. You don't keep a lame duck coach when you're bringing in a new quarterback. It just doesn't happen. I don't know who they're going to bring in. I've heard rumors of it being just strictly Tom Brady and John Spytek's, the GM's decision now together. Mark Davis has come out fully and said it is them two and no one else that will be making the decisions going forward. So we'll see what happens.
I think there is a rumor that LaFleur with the Green Bay Packers is a lot of talk about if he loses that he might get fired too and let go. And LaFleur is doing a great job in Green Bay. I don't know.
I would think that'd be.
I mean, you guys have heard that, right? You guys have seen anything like that? And to me, I mean, that would be a fantastic pick for the Raiders if you were. You get LaFleur in there. LaFleur is an amazing guy. He was a quarterbacks coach with Atlanta when Kyle Shanahan was there. And after Shanahan left, and the next season, he kind of moved on and did what he needed to do. So he's been at Green Bay ever since. If that were to happen, I think he's the second best coach.
His brother's not a bad.
Say again.
His brother's not a bad OC either. He's not bad.
You know what I'm saying?
I just thought about something with Baltimore. Are they like the Steelers in training? Have they only had 2 coaches?
Jesus.
Brian Billick and Harbaugh, that's
Maybe.
it?
Wow.
Yeah,
you might be right. I think you're right.
Yeah, he's been there for 18 years, right? So 18 years puts us back to what, 2008?
And Billick, he took over for Billick. Billick started with them, so.
Yeah. Damn, man.
When you have that type of stability, that's when you know you have a good organization that's going to be consistent. And that's the thing. They're both consistently in the playoffs.
Who's their GM? Ozzy, man. He's
the man.
He's fucking man. He
GM of the decade.
Yeah, man. Yeah, hell yeah. God, yeah.
Multiple decades. Let's say GM in the late 90s when he got Ray Lewis and Jonathan Ogden in the first draft ever.
Yeah.
Think of all the
he's been there since then.
Yeah, that's crazy. He has been consistent drafter, like amazing drafting. All right, cool. Well, let's move it into the NFL games. We have a full weekend, y'all. We got the college on Thursday and Friday. Then we got 2 NFL games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and 1 to finish the weekend off on Monday night. Let's start with these Saturday games. The Los Angeles Rams, a little bit of a stumble there at the end of the season, sees them going into Carolina. What a crazy turn of events. Lamar, you talked about this with your Falcons being involved and all of that. The over-under is 46.5, and the Los Angeles Rams are a 10.5 point road favorite. When you're a favorite at 10.5 on the road, you know you are the much more favorite team because that's actually like 2 touchdowns. Dirty Mojo, what are your thoughts? What you got? What's your score?
It's crazy when you hear you're a 10.5 point favorite on the road because the way that the algorithm and stuff goes is they give 2 points or is it 1 point already to the home team. So that means they're 11 or 12.5 point favorite in actuality.
They give 2 points to the home team already. Yep, for the home field advantage.
There you go. It's crazy. So, and you know what? We've talked about Carolina and the way Carolina plays at home, and Carolina does play very well at home. Unfortunately for them, the Rams, I still think it, man. The Rams, I think, are the best team in the NFL. I know they lost in the last 3 weeks. They lost 2 of their last 3. But, you know what I'm saying? They lost to a Seahawks team, which was a fucking shootout. It was an awesome game. Seattle ends up winning it at the end. They lose to an Atlanta team, which I told you guys, Atlanta prepares very well against good teams. They weren't able to get that last little push to get them to win. And then they blew out whoever the fuck they played last week. Darn nobody knows who they played. Arizona, yeah, they blew those guys out the hell water. So I you know what I'm saying? These guys, I think, are the best. Unfortunately for them, they had the 2 losses at the end of the season. Look for the Los Angeles Rams to obliterate the Carolina Panthers. I would go the over, number 1, and I would go the 10.5. So I'm going. This is going to be 38 to 13. They're gonna smack these dudes.
Oh, muted.
Oh, whoa. Oops.
There we go. I'm going to go straight. I'm going to go straight to Clubber D from this because I agree with you, Dirty Mojo. I think that the LA Rams completely demolish Carolina here. I'm going 31-14.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a molly-whopping. There's absolutely no answer for Puka Nacua. Horn is a beast. I think it'll be close probably the first 6 or 7 minutes. Carolina does play well at home. Derek Brown's a beast in the middle on that line. However, they can't match the firepower with the Rams. It's just not going to happen. And once the Rams start scoring and start rolling like Golden State, it's not going to look good. I'm gonna go with the same. I'll say 37 to 14. It's just gonna. I just don't see Carolina really standing a chance.
There you go. Moving it on to the late game, the big one. Lamar, you just talked about this. I did not hear that rumor, but I would think that would be absolutely stupid, a tremendously stupid decision to fire Matt LaFleur with what he's done with this team. I know they were inconsistent this year, but that would be stupid to me. Green Bay is the favorite here, a road favorite, 1 point road favorite. So the bettors in Vegas and the line makers think they're the better team. And they're playing at Chicago, who got that number 2 seed. Very surprised, number 2 seed. We did not expect Chicago to be good so soon, but Ben Johnson, engineered a turnaround like none other there. So Clubber D, we'll start with you on this one. Who you got?
Well, I mean, I think it's gonna be similar to the last time they played, which was an amazing game, and when Caleb came back to win. They're playing Green Bay at a great time with all these injuries. And if Peach was on, he would say that Caleb waits until a certain point of the game to really turn into one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think with Roma, I believe Roma Doomsday is coming back. I'm not sure how hurt DJ Moore is, not that he's been a factor, but that Monungai and Swift 1-2 punch has been deadly for them. I wish they go to them a lot more often, but I'm going to go with Chicago in this game. I'll go with Chicago. I don't think it'd be a crazy high scoring. I think it'll be more of we'll say 27 to 20.
Yeah, thank you for the reminder. The over-under here is 45.5. The over-under the last game as well was 46.5. So they're expecting similar over-unders here in both games. Dirty Mojo, what you got?
So is Love playing in this game?
What was that? Excuse me?
I think should
Love,
be.
Is Love playing in this game?
Should.
Okay.
I mean, I would assume so. He better be.
Yeah.
So, hey, look, listen, Omar, you probably can help me out with this. I think this is the first or this is the second time that the Chicago Bears have beaten Green Bay in the last how many years? I think the record
it's been
beating Chicago is crazy, stupid, crazy number, right? And you want to see Caleb Williams have a complete game, and he's only been having these second half runs. And with that being said, I think Green Bay is going to do this. I think Green Bay is going to pull this off, and a lot of people.
Ooh, and with the mouth open too. With the mouth open,
just like
that's a reckless. That's a reckless pause. That's a reckless frozen.
It's closed on mine. It's frozen on, but his mouth is closed.
Oh, it's open over here. That's great. I'm going to continue on for him. I know, pause like shit. The way he looks, he's just waiting for one.
My bad. Yeah, my bad. It's like the third time it's done it, but I think you guys were talking when they did it. But anyways, no, I'm sorry about that. No, Green Bay, man. I think Green Bay is going to end up winning this game. I think they're going to jump out on them, and I think that Caleb Williams will have that comeback in the second half, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late. I got this game being 34 to 28. Green Bay.
34 to 28. There you go.
Green Bay.
I don't think it's going to be as high scoring, but I do agree. I think Green Bay is the better team. I agree with the odds makers. I think Chicago played over its head this year. Peach talked about it a lot. They won a lot of close scoring games at the end, just like the Commanders did last year. I don't believe Caleb Williams is ready yet for playoff primetime football. Now, we've never seen him in the playoffs, so maybe he is, and I'm wrong. But since I'm a UCLA fan and he is a FUSC Trojan, I will just go with no there. And I'm going to go with Green Bay 24, Chicago 21, a nice NFC North score.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, cool. Let's move it on to our Sunday games. Again, we got 3 on Sunday. The first one, Buffalo going into the very surprising Jacksonville Jaguars, and the odds makers have this game even money. They got Jaguars with the Bills.
Can't wait for
That's crazy. 51.5 is the over-under. You can't wait for it. Let's hear what you got to say, Cleverty.
Man, I can't wait for this game. This reminds me, I think this is the first time when Tyrod Taylor brought got Buffalo to the playoffs for the first time in like 20 years or whatever. When he was Buffalo's quarterback at the time, they went to Jacksonville and the Bills.
Oh yeah.
It started them on that trajectory going upwards. We can't ignore what Trevor Lawrence is doing, especially that offense. Is Superman Josh Allen and the NFL's leading rusher Cook, are they gonna take this away, or is it gonna be the Jacksonville's defense to stop them? I honestly feel that Jacksonville, they are, I'm not going to call them the Indiana of the NFL, but they are the team that you don't expect to be there and expect them to have this record. But I think the way Trevor Lawrence is playing, he's finally playing up to that contract. I got Jacksonville beating Josh Allen, because this is going to be Josh Allen's time, and him and Burrow and all them. Oh, Mahomes is not a player, so it's time for them to do X, Y, and Z. Him, Lamar, and Joe Burrow will all be on the same couch as Trevor Lawrence.
Wow.
I got Jacksonville winning this game, okay? And I'm going to go with a modest 21-13.
Wowzer.
Show up.
Jacksonville.
Brian Thomas will not drop no ball. Pause.
Dirty Mojo, do you hear this? Jacksonville, do you agree with him?
Listen, man, Dion said it. We have not been giving Jacksonville their props all season long. We haven't. And for them to go on an 8-game winning streak, listen, Dion, I give you I can't disagree with you. I cannot disagree with you with the fact that you can say, hey, listen, man, Trevor Lawrence plays well, and that team plays well. They win the
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
They got him again.
A double.
Got him again.
A little double trouble.
Again.
A little double trouble.
Yes.
A little double trouble for you. Love it. There we go. I love it. That's good.
Glitching Gary. Omar takes himself out. This is hilarious, people. We're gonna still keep it going. I think Lamar was gonna say that he's going with Jacksonville, and he's back.
I'm back. Omar, you bailed out too, Omar? It was you just sitting there. It was him sitting there. So listen, let me say. So look, I'm telling you, like,
tremendous.
Imagine if the Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter wasn't injured. How fun would it have seemed to see him playing?
I mean, I'm not going to be. You know what? He didn't do shit all year.
I didn't say he was, but it would have been fun to see him playing in this game.
It would. It'd be cool, but I just don't like him playing both sides. Pick a side.
No, I don't think he would have. I'm not looking at that. I'm just looking at him being there, playing in this game. How much fun it would have been to have something to talk about this, him being there, especially what they did to get him, and them going from a top 3 pick to being in the playoffs as a really good team. Look, your score to me though was a little bit low because Buffalo Bills, man, their defense is just bad. They're not a good defense, man. I think a lot of teams put their points on them, but I am gonna go against you here, Dion, and the reason why is because there's so much on the line for the Buffalo Bills. There is no Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. There is no Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Allen, you have to come and bring us down because Peach said this a few times. If you do not win this, there's no fucking excuse. They might get rid of that whole Buffalo team, man. So I do believe Josh Allen turns on this magic, man. He's going to have a fantastic game. I do think it's going to be a high game. Give me Buffalo to win this game 38-34 in a fantastic, probably the best game of the fucking weekend.
I just thought about something. They start next year in their new stadium in Buffalo. They got that new nice stadium, so it'd be perfect if they held up to Lombardi. Not like they are, but I like storylines.
On a new stadium.
I like storylines.
So are you going with Jacksonville then, Dirty Mojo? Is that what you said?
No, I'm going with Buffalo. 38-34 Buffalo.
Okay, cool. So close game, though. All right. I'm going to go with a little bit more of a blowout. I do not believe in Jacksonville. We have not seen Trevor Lawrence in prime time either yet. We don't know if he's going to see ghosts like Sam Darnold did. So, he could turn into pumpkin mode. We never know. What I do know is Buffalo is a proven team over these years. And as you just mentioned, Lamar, they're in prime position right now with the team that they have, still a really, really good team. And their chief nemesis of the past few years, both out of the way. A lot of teams in that conference, young upstarts, the Broncos, Otherwise, as we talked about, Texans, Buffalo needs this. Back against the wall, they're going to get it. Buffalo beats Jacksonville, and I'm going to go with a score of 35-21, 14-point game. I'm going to say it's a little bit of a blowout there.
I like it.
Right. Awesome. Clubber D, we're coming to you on this one again because it is your team, San Francisco, going into I know he was kind of upset to end the season. Going into Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the 4.5-point favorite, and the over-under here is 44.5. Clubber D, who do you got?
Let me tell you something. We're down to our scraps at linebacker. Our starting two linebackers will be people that didn't go to training camp or finished, or even just wasn't on the roster when the season started or halfway through the season. Literally, one person came in about a month ago, if that, and we just signed somebody yesterday. Okay, we are down to the nubs when it comes to linebacker. Trent Williams probably will not play. We have a terrible defensive line. It gives the quarterback all time of the day. They have the more superior offensive line. Their rushing attack isn't as great as it was last year, but they still got Saquon. Only thing for us is they are the worst third down defense, and we are the number 1 or number 2 third down offense. That's the only thing that's going in our favor. Ricky Pearsall, will he play? We don't know. We're hurting. We're limping into this game. We fumbled the bag last week by playing poorly against Seattle and Shanahan being outcoached. The only way Shanahan has a chance to beat Vic Fangio is for Brock Purdy and that defensive line to contain Hurts and Brock Purdy to have a great game and turn to a shootout. We have to turn this game to a shootout because Philly doesn't, their offense is hit or miss sometimes. You're not sure what you're going to get. And all it takes is an interception or something like that for the Bluebirds to be out and everyone to be ragging on Hurts and A.J. Brown to crash out on the sideline. With all that being said, I got the Niners losing by about, we'll say 10. I got Philly. They're going to probably, I think it'll be close until the second quarter that Philly's going to kind of go away and take over. So, I mean, I don't know if it'd be a bloodbath like when Purdy got hurt the first time, but I got them winning by at least 2 scores.
Wow, 2 scores.
Yeah. That's the way our defensive line is. We can't. Hurts is going to have all day, and he can run. We can't. Phillip Rivers lit us up. You know what I'm saying? Even though we sacked him like twice, but we got like 19 sacks on the year, maybe 20 or 21. It's embarrassing. It's bad. I'm trying to think of a score, but you know what? I'll just say 30-14. Say that.
Ooh. And I'm going to stick right there with you because I got a similar score, 24-17, Philadelphia over San Francisco, because of all the things you just said. Because San Francisco has been a walking IR unit this whole year, and they did their best to catch up, and they played really well during the middle of the season. But you know what? The fumes kind of ran out. They stumbled down the stretch, and they blew what was the best chance they had to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And that hurts. That hurts a lot, and especially when you're injured. And now you got to go on the road to the defending champions. Give me the defending champions, 24-17. Dirty Mojo, who you got?
Look, they say that in order for you to win in the playoffs, you got to be able to run the football, right? Now, we can say that the 49ers can run the ball. They got one of the best running backs in the NFL, and Christian McCaffrey. But also the Philadelphia Eagles can run the football too. I think the biggest thing that caused me to, I guess, flip-flop a little bit is that, what did you say? Who did you say is not playing for the 49ers, Dion? What lineman?
Oh, Trent. Oh, yeah.
That's huge. That is that is huge that he's not playing in that game. And with that defense and that defensive line, that front seven of the Philadelphia Eagles, they are going to be getting after Brock Purdy all day. And if they can shut down Christian McCaffrey, you might as well just go ahead and put a cork in it. The game's going to be over before it even starts. You know what I'm saying? So, and then like you said, I'm not too worried so much about the 49ers getting after the quarterback because the Philadelphia Eagles aren't somebody that I'm really looking to light the scoreboard up with passing the ball and throwing the ball down the field. So I'm not too much into that. But let Hurts drop back to pass with no kind of pressure. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to take off and run for 18 yards to get that first down on 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 7 or whatever it may be. So Unfortunately for the 49ers, with all these injuries, man, for them to be able to have a home game could have helped them a little bit more. I still think that the Philadelphia Eagles are just a better team, man. I don't think I wouldn't bet the over though. What was it, 44.5? I don't think it's going to be that high score of a game. I got Philadelphia winning this game 20-10.
Okay, that's about low scoring.
20-10.
All right, there you go. So complete sweep there. You get realism on this show, y'all. We are not three guys that are going to come on here and wine and dine you about our teams. We're going to give you the straight up. If our team sucks, we're going to tell you. If our team's not going to win, we're not going to lie and pick them just to say that. No, we're going to be real and say, we're not going to win this game, just like Clever D did. So
we take our
hats off to him for keeping it real. There you go, taking that medicine. Let's move it on. Last two games of the weekend. We've got the Sunday night and Monday night. First of all, the Los Angeles Chargers going into New England on Sunday night. New England is a 3.5 point favorite here, and the over/under is 46.5. Dirty Mojo, we start with you.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers in an upset.
What?
I really am. Listen, what? I don't think that the New England Patriots have really played a strong schedule. And I like the way Omar's on it. Oh, he's back. Hey. And listen,
I had to disappear for a second on this one.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Chargers sat some players last week. The Los Angeles Chargers did sit players last week. And a lot of times we always say that, hey, look, man, this is something that's kind of like bad for you. You sit your players, they kind of come back, how are they going to come out rusty?
Philly did it.
Like that. Philly did it. They did. They did. But at the same time, I do like what the Los Angeles Chargers have as far as a myriad of players that can make plays. You know what I'm saying? They got a good quarterback, but you know what I'm saying? People will say where Herbert's going to show up. Is it Herbert the pervert from Family Guy that whistles and can't do anything? Or is he going to be a stud up there that's going to, do what he did? Like
you also got to think about his offensive line, though, which it's been, an IR as well this year.
Yeah. You do. You got Omarion Hampton and the wide receiver corps with Lab McConkey and those guys. I really do believe that there's somebody that can keep up the fight. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Patriots. I think the Patriots are a good team. I think the Patriots are going to put up a lot of points, but I'm really excited about this game. And I do think that the Chargers are going to pull this game off. I got this game being a high-scoring game. Give me 31-28. The Chargers win this game in New England.
Yeah, wow. I don't even know what to say, Clever D. You can go ahead.
I see where Lamar's going with this because I'm leaning towards the Chargers because I think, like I mentioned earlier, with it's gonna be the opposite with Josh Allen. That since the big bad wolf of Patrick Mahomes is not in the playoffs, so Herbert has always been to me a tad overrated. Because he hasn't won the big game. He waited till last year in the playoff game to throw 3-4 interceptions. And it's like, dude, where'd this come from? So I want to lean toward the Chargers. It's just that I'm not sure what that weather is going to be because this is a Sunday night game in Massachusetts. So, I'm not sure if it's going to be freezing, if it's going to be inclement weather, if it's going to be snowing, because these guys playing a dome out in LA. So it's, difference between playing under controlled temperatures and the elements. So that's my deciding factor for this. I haven't seen what the weather is going to be, but I'm assuming that's going to be a nasty game, and that bodes well for New England's defense, which is very good. And Gonzalez is a beast cornerback. He's a monster out there. So I'm going to go with Drake May, and I'll say I'll go with 28-17.
All right, there you go. And I agree with what you said there at that last point. It is going to be cold. And West Coast team going to play on the East Coast, either with the time zone difference, which doesn't matter here because it's a night game, or the weather is cold. They usually do not play up to how good they're supposed to. And as you mentioned, we've seen Herbert in the playoffs last year, kind of had a bad game, go out there. His line is injured. They kind of stepped it up there the last few weeks. They've won a bunch of games to end the season. I mean, that's fine. But I just can't see them going into New England in the cold and winning that game. So I'm going to go with New England, and I'm going to go with a 31-27 let's go 31-21. New England over the Chargers.
Okay.
All right, let's move it into the last game of the weekend. Houston is your 3-point favorite on the road, going to see our brother Clutch B's Pittsburgh Steelers. Luckily, he didn't get the meme that Pishak created for him because that was hilarious. Freezing for no reason would have been great. We didn't get it, but yeah, he was trying to needle. But Brandon, I don't know if you're going to be there. Chime in the comments if you are. I'm expecting you to be there. Dirty Mojo, what are your thoughts on this game?
So I know we talked about Harbaugh being fired or Tomlin being fired based on how that kick ended, right, Dion?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that saved his job anyways. There's nothing short of an AFC championship game. He could lose an AFC championship game. Tomlin loses his game. I think Tomlin's going to get fired also. I really believe that they're going to want to move on from Tomlin.
Okay, still firing.
Not out of like right, because how many times does he get to the playoffs and how many times does he lose in the first round?
Right, yeah, no,
at what point do we say, okay, hey, look, it's not about just getting to the playoffs. It's about getting to the playoffs and it's about winning. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be another failed one and done for those guys. So the Houston Texans are hot. The Houston Texans, just like the Jacksonville Jaguars, are on that 7 or 8 game win streak. And the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't looked very good. And I think they're going to continue to not look very good. Yeah, we could say that, hey, DK Metcalf wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? But hey, it did hurt. It did hurt them, but still in all, the rest of the team didn't look very well. And I got Houston coming in here, and putting it down on them. I do believe that Houston wins this game. It's going to not be one of those exciting games, but I think Aaron Rodgers, him being old, is going to show. He missed a lot of balls last week against the Ravens. The one that he had wide open right before halftime, and he just launched it. I don't think that he's going to be very comfortable out there. He's 42, 43 years old. So he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but still in all, I like Houston in this game. Houston is a hot team. Houston's been playing very good football. I got Houston winning this game 24-17.
Right, Clubber D.
And Tomlin getting fired.
Yeah, I mean,
Tomlin getting fired.
Like you said, Lamar, Tomlin, he's held the girl's hand, but he hasn't, given her a hug or a kiss. He's still on first base. So he's not, it's going to the playoffs. That's basically what that is, It's just, all right, hey, how you doing? All right, I'll buy you dinner. Can I get a hug? No, okay, fist pound. And that's it, So he's not really advanced. And it's been how many years it's been? I don't know, whatever. But I'm gonna say the same thing that I said for the Chargers. Houston plays in a dome, they're in a controlled area. How cold is it gonna be in Pittsburgh?
That's true too.
That's gonna play a factor. I know Stroud played at Ohio State, but these guys are used to playing in the dome, and I think that kind of plays a factor if the weather's kind of nasty out. But with that being said, I'm a big DeMeco Ryans fan. I love it when he was our DC. I love what he's doing in Houston. The fact that he got rid of Bobby Slowick when everyone praised him after his second year, and Stroud has struggled a little bit, but still has put up decent numbers this year. So with a new OC, I'm gonna go with Houston. I really like everything about Houston, and I'm gonna caveat what Lamar said. I think Tomlin could be see Vince McMahon that next day, on Monday, you're fired, or Tuesday, might get one of those. So yeah, I'm going with the Texans, and we'll say 21. No, actually, I'll say 27-14. Something modest.
Yeah, I'm close to that as well, and I'm agreeing with both of you. I do think that the cold does play a factor, as we just talked about, but in the one we talked about before, New England, in a lot of people's eyes, is the better team anyways, and they're at home. So here, Houston is the better team, most people would venture to say, especially with the run they went on, 7 wins to close the season. And Pittsburgh just being so up and down and so inconsistent as the year ended. I'm not as much of a hater as Aaron Rodgers as most people. I kind of wanted to see him have, one last hurrah, but at this point, it's just not going to happen. And not with the Steelers. I hope Mike Tomlin doesn't get fired just because I like Mike Tomlin and I think that he's a good coach. But hey, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he comes to the Raiders. I'd take him. Let's fucking go. 24. Hey, go ahead. 24-14. Houston over Pittsburgh is my pick.
Okay.
All right. Well, there you go. That was that. We picked all the college football playoffs, semifinals, and the finals, and wild card weekend. I will make sure that we get those picks up there on YouTube so you can see them in case you want to throw them on your draft on your DraftKings or FanDuel or anything like that. But yes, it's a huge football weekend starting tomorrow. I'm super excited. I know these guys are as well. Let's sign off. Clubber D, what you got?
Hey, you guys have fun this weekend. Tune in, watch the games, relax. If you haven't said Happy New Year or New Year's, depending on the person, if you haven't said it by at least tomorrow, don't say it at all. Okay, it's past its prime.
There you go. Right. Dirty Mojo.
I need to go ahead and log on to Netflix to see if that episode of Stranger Things just so happened to magically appear, which I don't think it did. Yeah, man. I'm hoping for a good week of football, man. And you know the wild card round has been for the last I don't know how many years. Awesome. Been an amazing round every year. It's like you're like, holy shit, man! I'm looking forward to that. But I'm also looking forward to the semifinals of college football to be good, fun. You know what I'm saying? It's something that everybody can look at. I am glad that there are new teams in it that have the ability and the opportunity to win a national championship for their schools. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man, get out there, watch some football, man. Really sit down, man. Make yourself some popcorn, some wings, something like that. If you go out or whatever, if you're at home, have some buddies come over, drink some beers, man. Watch some really good football this week. It's going to be fun. When are we getting back on? Are we going to get back on Saturday or are we going to get back on Sunday? What are we doing?
I can't Saturday because I'm traveling, so I can only do Sunday. If y'all want to, I can set up a stream for y'all.
We do Sunday. That's fine.
Yeah, do it from the plane.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Sunday will be Catch Us Sunday Showdown. It'll be after those games. I don't know the exact time because the playoffs are staggered a little bit. I think that last game probably ends around 7 or 8 or something. But anyways, make sure you subscribe to Ball and Buds and you don't have to worry because you'll get the notification at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you do get reminders when we do go live. Hit that like button whether watching now or on the replay and that handy QR code at the top. We'll take you to all of our socials. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Instagram. Clubber D is up there as well. And Dirty Mojo is on Instagram. Our brother Peach was not able to make it, but I'll give him a shout out as well. He's on X at PeachOmania. That being said, enjoy football this weekend, y'all, and we will see you on Sunday. Holla. 5,000.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure foe. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this micro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan and you have no need to know. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Introducing the Ball and Bud 703 Boys Crew, Clubber D, Dirty Mojo, Shane Peach, and the Sports Professor. Welcome to Sunday Showdown.